So we're actually right in the middle of a project, which is a colonial tasting spoon. Josh learned to make these this past summer at the Anderson Forge and Armory, the public armory, whatever it's called, in Colonial Williamsburg as a blacksmithing intern. And so he's showing me how to make them. And you can see that in another video, the video previous to this one. But the next step is planishing, right?
Right.
So we're actually putting this bowl shape over a rounded shape and hammering it cold. And the problem is this rounding hammer that we were hoping to be able to use as a stake, it's not radiused enough. It's not a tight enough radius, and so it's gonna make the spoon shallower.
Yeah.
Which is not good. So we're going to stop and we're going to make a stake. So that's what this video is about. A stake is a cold working tool. It's like a little miniature anvil, sort of. And some people make stakes to go in the hardy hole of the anvil. We're going to make this one to go in the vise. So it'll be clamped in the vise while it's being used. This is a piece of 1-inch square 1080 high carbon steel. It's about 4.5 inches long. That's what we're going to use. So let's get it hot.
All right.
I'm thinking in there, in that range. Ethan would be mad at me because I'm not going to be as picky about getting everything cleaned up. Here, I'll tell you what, maybe I will be a little bit pickier. I don't know if that's actually helping or not.
We can straighten it.
Yeah, we're going to have to. It's definitely a rather lopsided shape. Josh, see what you think before I call it good and go to the sander. It's a little lopsided, but like, is this a problem?
I mean,
should I go at it with the hot rasp again, or should I just roll with it?
I don't think it'll show up in the planishing. You're gonna correct it on the sander, or you're just gonna leave it?
I might correct it a little bit.
I mean, I think you'll one day be displeased, but at the moment, I think it's going to be fine.
I can also redo it later.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Well, I mean,
a
little bit of hot rasping.
This way looks great.
Yeah, a little bit of hot rasping would make all the difference. So we'll take another heat. I think that's good enough to go on the vise. What do you think?
Yeah.
Youch.
I think we just happen to have the perfect amount of material.
Yeah. I don't know why, but I just get like this, like, guilty pleasure when the day actually happens where I use a scrap, a cutoff, whatever, and it's
Right.
like the perfect piece of steel
Yeah.
for whatever it is I want to make.
One thing that Anderson's shop is really big on is using scraps.
Yeah.
Like even mild steel scraps.
Yeah.
They'll weld together. Like most.
I mean, that's
a lot of their
accurate.
A lot of their tools are old files.
Okay.
I told you that.
I don't
the
know.
way-
I don't remember that, but
The way Ken processes old files, you know, they're You're going to the vise.
I am when I'm hot. I don't think I'm quite there
Okay.
yet.
Ken will take a swage because for some reason they have a huge collection of half rounds.
Okay.
And he'll hammer the half round so it's like airfoil shape, but he'll
Okay.
hammer that into the swage just a little bit. So the bottom never comes in contact, it's just the sides.
Right.
But it centers
But it
that
makes it to where it won't cup when you
when you
forge
make it
out.
exactly.
That makes sense.
So I was thinking that's a perfect way of also handling wagon tire.
Yeah.
Because wagon tire often has that same cup.
Oh yeah. So I kind of got a little bit ahead of myself by dressing the top of this with the rasp before forging these shoulders in. So now I'm going to mess up my pretty rounded face by hammering on it. But I'll clinch it off a little bit, and hopefully we won't crack anything, and hopefully it won't ding it up too bad. But I really want these shoulders to seat better in the vise. Very nice. All right. I'm going to go ahead and brush it a little bit. So I'm in a little bit of a hurry today. I don't necessarily endorse everything about this project, but I am happy with how it's coming out. I think if I had time, I'd be more careful with the heat treat. Hopefully this will work. It won't be too hard and it won't crack and all of that. All right, so there it is, polished and ready to go. The face is a little bit soft, so I'll go back later and do a proper heat treat, make sure it's nice and hard. But this is definitely good enough to finish our spoon project. Check out the tasting spoon with Rachita. And so now we're going to go finish that spoon.